Hello, hello, hello. And yes, I'm a little late with this UFC recap, UFC Fight Night. I believe it's like 14, 15. I know we're in the teens at this point. It was in Las Vegas. It happened this past Saturday. I hope you saw it. I did. It was a great event. Let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. Actually, there's no real quick. It was the Halloween weekend, of course. Oh, yes, there is a real quick. How was your Halloween weekend? How did you manage to do things even though it was COVID and everything was shut down? You're not really a Halloween person, so you didn't care either way. I myself, if you check out my social media, you saw that I went out with my dog, and he dressed up too. He was Barky Bonds. Uh, so we had our little thing going on. But yeah, so I did actually manage. I live pretty close to downtown, so we went down. We people watched. We were able to eat outside and all of that. About 2 hours, and then we ended up at Denny's, all tired. And yeah, so I actually ended up having a real actual night with my dog. And I don't know if that's super sweet or super pathetic. It's COVID, so I'm gonna say it's super sweet. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this recap, though, that actually happened on Halloween. There was a boxing that happened as well that I have yet to watch, but I will watch that. I made 5 picks, and I only got 3 out of 5 picks. No, excuse me. I only got 2. I'm all sad over being over 500. I only got 2 out of 5 picks, so I was under 500. Womp womp. However, the main event, I explained why I picked on that. We'll get to that in a second. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, I lost this pick. I chose Bobby Green to beat Thiago Moises. He did not. It was a unanimous decision in favor of Thiago, and I agree. I think that Bobby Green took him lightly. He had his hands down the entire time trying to do the whole head thing, and that's actually not how he fights at all. Yes, he has some personality in there. Yes, he might talk some trash. Yes, he likes to try to get into his opponent's head and things of that nature. He has to get loose. But he's not the type to have his hands down trying to dodge shots with his head. He's not Israel Adesanya. That's not his game, and he was doing that throughout this entire fight. And allowing Thiago not only to jump on him early with the leg kicks. I think that might have disrupted him because he didn't really go to his wrestling as early as I thought that he would. He really couldn't get to it. I think the leg kicks did disrupt his movement. Also, Thiago was just first. He had the energy. He was first. He controlled the center of the octagon. It just seemed like he had pep in his step, whereas Bobby, it seemed like he was just banking on knocking him out for some reason. I don't know why he thought that would be. I do understand that Thiago had the grappling, the jiu-jitsu, and that Bobby wanted to keep it standing, but it just all around seemed like he took him lightly. And I don't want to take anything away from Thiago and say that he should have lost this or that was a lucky win or anything like that. But yeah, awkward performance from Bobby Green. Great win for Thiago Moises. Who would you like to see him fight next? And how do you think Bobby Green performed? Did it seem odd to you? Was he injured? Let me know about that fight. Next up, I got this pick. I chose Kevin Holland to beat Charlie Ontiveros. He did in the first round. They were feeling each other out there for a few seconds there, and then Kevin Holland actually went for a takedown. He got it. He was able to take him down hard. He landed on his back hard. It was a hard takedown, and I believe he suffered an injury. It was a verbal tap from Ontiveros. He said my neck, as we heard there. One of the commentators said that he said my neck. Let me know if it's his neck, his ribs. Let me know. This was his debut in the UFC, so hate for it to go out like this. First round lost due to an injury, verbal tap. So anyone, let me know if he's injured, and let me know who you think Kevin Holland should fight next. He is a middleweight. He went over to Israel Adesanya, who was there supporting a teammate, and talked a whole lot of trash. Like a lot. They stayed on that trash talk for a long time. And apparently him and Israel has had run-ins before in the gyms and all of that. Kevin said, he knew what he's done. And so I'm still not over that. So hopefully we'll get to learn what that is. Either way, he said, I know I got a few more fights, Izzy, but I'm coming for you, is basically what he said. So who would you like to see Kevin Holland fight next? And I do believe he is one to watch in a very stacked middleweight division. Next up, I got this pick. I chose Greg Hardy to beat Maurice Green. He did. This ended in the second round. However, almost ended in the first. He landed a big shot and was able to land some serious ground and pound with some elbows, all of that. Both of these men gassed by the second round. And I knew there was going to be some cardio issues, as I said in my prediction video. But once that happened and Maurice got through the first flurry, I was like, am I going to lose this too? But in the second round, Greg was able to land a short shot again. That power. I mean, he had a clear power advantage over Maurice. Had a little bit of on the ground. Maurice did actually get him on the ground in the first round, and Greg really displayed the knowledge that he is gaining from being taken under the wing of Rashad Evans and Dean Thomas and them over there. He's been taken under their wing. They're giving him one-on-one time, and you could see it. He, as Maurice Green has a black belt there in jiu-jitsu, he was trying to go for submissions on the ground, and you saw Greg Hardy do the necessary things to block the takedowns, to stand back up. You saw the growth. So I do believe that is a good place for him. Anyway, like I said, go to the second round, dropped him again, ground and pound, refs up the fight. Maurice, of course, was complaining, was complaining afterwards, but when you saw the replay, you see there's a moment where there's two shots and his head kind of falls dead, and then he kind of gets back, starts moving again. So again, you know how I feel, better early than late. We complain when they stop it too early, but we are viciously, violently aggressive towards the ref. We are upset when they stop it too late. So better early than late. And I actually, from that replay and that angle, I can see why it was stopped at that time. So I'm not too upset about the stoppage. Tell me what you thought. And who do you think should be next for Greg Hardy? Greg Hardy's going to have to drop some weight. He actually almost missed weight. You don't have that half a pound leeway at heavyweight because you get to be 266. He was overweight. Got another hour, was able to get that half pound out off. He's going to have to drop weight. Again, he was gassed by the end of the second round. He is going to have to lose some weight to really compete with the upper echelon of this division. You see with Derek Lewis, he's cutting weight. You're going to have to get around 250-ish. Even Francis Ngannou, he's around 255, around that. So, so you're going to have to get down. There's dead weight that you can cut off. You're not completely solid. You're going to have to drop some weight to continue on in this division. Now, co-main event, I did not get this pick. I chose Andre Fili to beat Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell jumped on him. I knew this would be a close fight. I knew it would be back and forth. I wasn't very confident about this pick. Bryce Mitchell jumped on, was able to take him down, zap some of that energy from him. Andre Fili in the second round was able to win the second round, in my opinion, even though one of the judges actually gave it all 3 rounds to Bryce, but I actually thought it was 29-28 like the other 2 judges had it. It was a unanimous decision in favor of Bryce Mitchell. I believe that second round did go to Andre Fili. I thought he did enough, came forward, was able to land some kicks and some punches and actually got comfortable. On the stats as well, he landed more in that second round, but the third round, again, more to Bryce Mitchell. He was able to take him down, ground and pound, so good win for Bryce Mitchell. He is a prospect. I believe that's the 145 division, 145, 135, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Who would you like to see him fight next? Next up, main event, and I did not get this pick. I chose the legend. But we saw Uriah Hall defeat the legend, Mr. Anderson the Spider Silva. This ended in the 4th round, actually. Anderson came in there, looked pretty good. He took the first round. Actually, he was first. He had a higher offensive output. Maybe even got the first 2 rounds, actually. It wasn't until the 3rd round when we saw Uriah actually just start to fight. I was just like, even though I picked Anderson Silva, and you guys know why I picked him, I said if this is his farewell fight, because he said this was going to be his last fight, I can't pick against the legend in his last fight, so I picked Anderson Silva. However, we'll talk about that in a second. The 3rd round, I was like, Uriah, fight. Don't let the legendness get to you. Fight your fight. In the 3rd round, he started to land some kicks. He started to move forward. You say he was quicker. He was more powerful. He had he was able to do more because he was quicker. He was more powerful. Anderson Silva doesn't have the angles that he used to. He has the old wily veterans tricks. Well, Uriah was able to push through that. So once he started to fight, you saw the momentum change, and you kind of knew that this was going to go in his favor. The end of that 3rd round, he dropped Anderson Silva, had a near finish to Anderson Silva in that 3rd round, but he survived. 4th round, that near finish, 4th round, he was able to drop him again earlier in the fight, and this time was some ground and pound, but he was just a lot of the shots were getting through on the ground and pound. The ref stopped the fight. It was a good stoppage. I agree. Good win for Uriah Hall. Like he said, he beat his one of his idols here, and of course he's calling out Izzy, and we'll see who's next for Uriah Hall. Real quick about Anderson Silva. So, okay, afterwards they said, so how do you feel? Let's let you talk. You're the legend, talk. And he said, so it's your last fight. And he said, I don't know. Anderson, you can't have me wasting picks on you if you're not going to retire. I was very clear in my prediction video. The only reason why I chose you to pick this fight is because you're leaving. But if I didn't think you were leaving, I wouldn't have picked you. I told you, if y'all betting money, pick Uriah Hall. He should win. Anderson, make up your mind. Love you either way. If anybody can play with my heart like this, it is you. Your Dana White, when he was asked, he said, "No, I'm not signing. He's not fighting anymore." So we'll see what happens. Thank you. If this is it, thank you, Anderson Silva. You are great. You are a legend. You are amazing. I'm not going to miss you because we're going to continue to see you. You're already doing movies. You're hosting TV shows. You're guest here, guest there. I wouldn't be surprised if you started a music career because you have such an amazing personality. People want to see you, and we already are. We love you. We know your son's coming up in the ranks, even though you don't want him to. So there's more to come from Anderson Silva. Love you. Thank you. Living legends. Get your flowers while you're still alive. I love that that's happening for you. Thank you. Now, let me know all of your picks, all your injury updates, how you did on that entire event. Let me know what you think about, of course, the great Mr. Anderson Silva. And should he leave? Should he not leave? Do you believe him? Do you not believe him? Real quick, I just wanted to say, apparently Izzy's going to be fighting Jan Blachowicz, super fight. Why? Neither one of them have cleared out their divisions. Yes, I understand Izzy has less fights, but he does have fights. Jan, we have Thiago Santos coming back now. Thiago Santos knocked Jan out. Why is this happening? I understand. Why? Even John Jones was starting to say, well, maybe I'll come back and get my belt back from Jan because he hasn't fought Jan. Why? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave the video with that. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you agree? Should this super fight happen? Are you for this? And if you are, why? All right. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. Talk to me. Take care. And goodbye.